welcome. On this video, I'm here once again with Cooper for service dog training. Cooper's here for phase 1. And on this video, I'm going to be adding on to the basic method by way of the down. Now here again, I'm going to be walking around in a circle, I'm going to be interacting with Cooper, with influence being an active agent. Again, this is where, again, talk about in terms of current state of the relationship, in terms of creating or generating a very high level of focus when it comes to service dog training. And then at a certain point, once again, a high level of focus has been established, beginning to connect dots by way of task-specific training, getting dogs to, say, pick up objects, getting dogs to provide support, physical support, again, by way of using a motivator in terms of the right place in the process. So here, again, in terms of the first part of the process, influence being the focus, interactions that will generate a high level of focus, and then beginning to perform task-specific training. Now again, I'm going to be moving here with Cooper. Cooper's doing absolutely fantastic. You can watch the other videos on his progress, because it's all about agreeableness. As I'm doing this and starting to interact with him, getting him to come into agreement with these interactions, which again generates the focus that is needed for service dog training. Now I'm going to start to move with him. Now again, I'll be stopping at certain points, doing again the basic method, the sit, the push-pull. And again, at the point of the push-pull, you're going to see me continue to assert influence to get him into accepting the down. Now again, when I'm doing the down, I do it at a certain point when a dog's already beginning to, perceptions are already beginning to change. So here, Cooper's ready for the down, the way that I'm adding it on. And I'm doing it basically once every, say, 2 or 3 sits. So it's not necessarily every time. For some dogs, it's helpful to do it quite a bit. But here in this interaction, I'm going to be adding the down on kind of sporadically, about every 2 or 3 sits. But very important to complete the push-pull first, okay? So again, the push-pull helps to drop a couple dominoes, so to speak, already in his mind, already getting influence being, again, part of the equation. But again, you want to make sure you complete each movement, in its entirety, because it is a type of language. So again, the push-pull is going to happen, then you'll notice my hand will already be where it needs to be to continue to assert influence at that point. So again, I start to move with Cooper. I'm going to move, put him on my right side where his owner is used to him being. And again, I start to move with him, but again, maintain kind of like a one-step type of method. So I move him forward, put him into the sit, and do the push-pull. Not going to apply the down yet. Move forward here with him a little bit. Again, put him into the sit. Apply the push-pull. And here I'm going to do the down. I'm going to start to assert the down. I'm just going to keep pushing here. Again, this is about agreeableness, getting him to come into agreement. So just steady pushing. I'm not pushing really, really hard. Okay, I'm just kind of using my body weight. But again, right here, he knows the intent. Okay, he knows where I want him to go. He's going to be a little stubborn here about it. And then bring him into the sit, into the down position. Now here's the thing, when you do this, again, you got dogs that are pretty stubborn. There's a point of stopping, okay, depending on the level of challenge here. Because again, it's about taking stress off of Cooper. Definitely holding some control here. Definitely doesn't like it, okay? We're not trying to, go into high challenge or anything like that. But again, this is meant to take stress off it. So from this point, I bring him back up into the sit. Definitely, his mind's pulling in. Definitely at a certain level. Now, when that happens too, again, in terms of moving him forward, it's just moving him forward. He's starting to lock in here a little bit. This is definitely affecting him. Push, pull. And this is where, again, if you have a high level of kind of the mind pulling in like that, you want to kind of slow it down, because again, there's a working through, okay? There is accommodation that way. It's not about just, rushing forward and just focusing on asserting influence that way. There is accommodation, because in terms of relationship, Cooper definitely is still working through this, because there has to be that kind of recognition that this is a process. So here, he really locked down pretty hard because again, this is something new. Okay, this is an add-on. This is the down is really kind of challenging the current state of the relationship. So he definitely is going to resist it at a higher level. Now again, when I move forward, and watch as I move forward, I gave him a little extra time there. So he's going to come forward here a little bit. He's still going into kind of lockdown mode here. So I'm going to push pull. And this time, I'm not going to add the down on. So right here, I'm just going to hang out here for just a little bit longer. And tap it. Now here, I'm not putting a lot of influence on him at this point. We're just kind of maintaining this type of position here for a moment. But you'll see he looks, again, you'll see that type of reaction, again, based on the current state of the relationship. He's definitely holding a level of control already, a little bit, in the relationship. So he's having definitely a reaction to this. So because of that, again, getting him to come to agreement is just about me kind of maintaining kind of a holding pattern a little bit here. But I will move forward here in a moment. Because again, he's already locking down here somewhat. And so again, just maintain. But again, I'm maintaining a level of control. Here's the thing, is when I'm maintaining a holding pattern, I'm still have him under control. Okay, so he still knows that you know, maintaining a consistent level of control. But you see that type of downwardness going on here, which is normal. So again, I move forward here with him. You'll see coming forward a little better that time, right? Because I gave it the extra time. Do another push pull. Still not going to do another down, but I'm still nudging him, still tapping, creating that inwardness. So see, but this is a really good example of how to deal with a reaction of a dog that's holding a lot of control. Okay, there's a combination in the sense that I slow it down, hang out a little bit longer, take my time, because you know, you want to keep the level of conflict down as much as possible. Especially when you get some dogs that are great, have a lot of control. Not in the case of Cooper, but some dogs are really at an aggressive level, and you don't even want to add the down on it first, okay? Because again, it's gonna bring them into too much challenge. So you just want to hang out a lot longer, just really slow it down. So here, move forward here again. But notice here Cooper is starting to become a little bit more motivated. He's coming in, still a little bit of resistance, not bad. Now I'm going to add another down on again. Okay? So I'm just pushing. See, this will give you a really good idea. I'm pushing, but not hard. I'm just kind of leaning in my body weight. It's kind of like the concept of the tug-of-war team that collapses. You see the first guy start to wobble. Okay, so I'm kind of bringing his mind into a state of wobbling here. And then I want him to commit. And so it goes into a down. And the same thing, he's down there now, and again, you'll see a little bit of shakiness here, okay? He's having a little bit of a reaction to it because there's stress, okay? There's stress actually coming off of him. And just like I did with the chair exercise, hanging out, I'll hang out here because he'll go to a down, but then he goes down there, he'll lock down again, and he won't want to come up. Okay, you'll see that here in a moment. But again, give him just a moment here. But it's better sometimes to bring off a little sooner. He goes into that type of lockdown mode. So here, I'm going to bring him up. Move the leash here. See that lock? He's really locking down. But he's moving his legs here, and then hang out here again. Same thing. Slow it down. Because here I want to take some pressure off the collar. Bring it up behind his neck. But I have to have it tight enough just to maintain enough control to keep him up. But not so much that, you know, I'm creating more of a lockdown situation. So, but again, I'm hanging out here again. Because when he's in a sit position, he's got to deal with this a little bit more. To nudge him a little bit, and I'll move forward with him again. But see the lockdown here? See him go into a lockdown again a little bit? Move him forward, back in, do the push-pull, and then we're going to hang out. And we're going to stop it here in just a moment. And bring him forward. Bring Cooper forward. He's saying, what the heck? Little push-pull. Bring it up and just maintain. So we're here. See that downwardness? That's what's going on here. So understand that it's all about the current state of the relationship. You know, influence is happening. You're going to get a reaction. Understand that break for him, his mind's definitely pulling in. But as we move forward, it'll start to become more and more agreeable. That's the whole point. But again, when you're starting something, when you're adding on to the script, and say the down can be very, very challenging for a dog, because that represents a higher level of influence being brought into the process. But it really takes a lot of stress off the dog at the same time. But you'll have a bigger reaction to that at the same time as well for some dogs that are holding a lot of control. So Cooper's definitely holding in, but understand that's the pit in him, you know, the pit bull mix, okay? So definitely his need levels are higher, going to be higher anyway, so he's going to have a little stronger reaction to this. But again, it's part of the process. But you'll see that too with dogs, and pay attention when they go into the crate. You'll see certain things that will really give you information that they're, you know, they're having a reaction. They'll start to back in further in the crate. They don't want to come out, you know, as quick. They actually want to go in the crate, not in terms of gaining control, but maintaining control. You see them kind of really go into the back of the crate. And Cooper's doing a little bit of that, but then as they become more agreeable, they start to move forward. You'll see how everything all lines up as we move forward in the process. But here, definitely a little bit of reaction to the down, because again, putting, you know, more expectation on Cooper and saying, you know what, okay, yeah, I'm gonna agree to it, but you know, I'm gonna resist this at a certain level. But again, accommodation, okay, but again, maintain control at the same time. So just slow it down. So Cooper's doing really, really good. Part of the process, and again, as we move forward, you'll see him become more and more